last year. President Biden had a bunch of donors at the White House, and they wrote a bunch of big checks.
Nothing you say on this show doesn't include the word Biden. You have no critique for Trump?
To the blockchain technology.
But I mean, is it corrupt? Hold on. We're not talking about blockchain. Is it corrupt?
Yeah, but I want to bring it up because I'm fascinated. I mean, I invest in crypto, and I...
Hold on. It's not a blockchain conversation. Go ahead.
Is it inappropriate? Maybe. You could argue that. But it's not illegal.
Maybe,
and I damn well will play whataboutism when you had a culture of corruption for 4 years that was so bad that the president...
Let me understand.
What was the crime?
Come on.
What is the crime here? What is the crime you're accusing President Trump of?
You cannot.
Is there a crime?
I think there's
I'm not sure anybody has said
public office.
But that's the innuendo.
If you went out there with a mean
angle that we're talking
about. The president pumping a crypto coin that his family is profiting off to the tune of potentially billions of dollars is something we have never seen before in this White House. The scale is what.
Hello, everybody. Guys, you have to see how Humpty Dumpty and Little Shermike over here try to defend Trump's most recent scam on his own voters. And I just don't understand how this just keeps working on his supporters and Republicans. This is just amazing.
Donald Trump spent an entire campaign accusing Joe Biden and his son of profiting off of their power. And now the MAGA king appears to be doing just that. The New York Times reporting that the president is offering dinner to the top 220 investors in his meme coin, which launched back in January, days before his inauguration. The invite promises an intimate dinner where guests can hear from Trump firsthand about the future of cryptocurrency. And to sweeten the deal, the Times reports the top 25 holders will win access to a reception with President Trump alongside a VIP tour of the White House. We've reached out to the White House for comment on this story and have yet to hear back. The obvious question is, how is this legal? He is the president of the United States.
Lawyers can debate that forever, how much immunity that the president has, but whether this is right or not. My grandmother told me 2 wrongs don't make a right. So I'm not going to defend Hunter Biden, but I will say that the irony of Trump and his crypto behavior, from getting the SEC to stop regulating crypto to his sons going in the crypto business, and now the Trump coin, which people don't realize, they issued 1 billion tokens for the Trump coin. But Donald Trump has held on to 800 million of those tokens. So only 20% of the Trump coin is actually out in circulation in the public. So he hypes the coin, gets everybody to buy it, so the price goes up, and he's the one who profits.
I mean, this is a juicing scheme
80%.
here because they are encouraging people to drive up the price of the coin. On top of what you're saying, they're also profiting off of just the transactions that are happening, the buying and selling of the coins. So, Congressman, I mean, there's so much going on here, but for a president who has said, you know, Biden, I guess, profited off of, you know, his son Hunter Biden's business dealings, his family is directly profiting off of this, and he's participating in it actively as a sitting president of the United States.
Yeah, you know,
Really quick, Trump literally doesn't know how to make money unless he scams people. And he knows his supporters are, for the most part, very, very low critical thinkers. And that's the nicest way I can say it. And just easily able to scam them. So that's his new little, you know, scam, the little scheme that he does. They didn't get it after the Trump University or the Trump sneakers, the Trump physical coin, the Trump meme coin, the Bibles. Just scam after scam, and these Trump supporters just blindly buy into this garbage. And they can't understand why we call them a cult. Trump said it. He could shoot someone in Times Square and you will still support him. He was calling you brainless lemmings. You fools, that even something so insidious like that, you guys will still vote for him. And he was right. Unbelievable.
The most painful thing to me about our politics today is that all moral issues are determined by whataboutism, right? So you can excuse any behavior simply by saying, well, what about her emails, or what about Hunter Biden and stuff? At some point, we got to stop doing that, right? Because we don't accept that as a way of thinking morally from our toddlers, right? 4-year-olds don't get to smack their sister because, well, what about when she did it last week? And I mean, it's painful to me for 2 reasons. Number one, look, it's an obvious scam, and the little devil that's there on my shoulder says, look, if you're going to buy a Trump meme coin, you know, you're going to deserve what is coming. But we're actually engaged in a serious effort, and we don't know how this is going to play out. We're actually engaged in a serious effort in the Congress right now to try to build the regulatory structure that will allow for cryptocurrencies and crypto assets and blockchain generally to innovate. And it does that effort absolutely no good to have obvious scams out there taking up
a lot
the
of crypto
oxygen.
people are really not happy about that.
Blockchain technology.
If only this were really about crypto, this is about the privatization of the White House. This is about corruption. This is about using the White House to personally enrich yourself, which is illegal, which is immoral, which is inappropriate, which surely leads to corruption. Do we really think that everybody is just a fan of Trump and they don't have some actual thing they're trying? And this is not a right-left issue. I don't have any idea how the two of you will make some idea of like, well, this is actually okay because somehow some other Dem did it. This is not an ideological issue.
I don't want to do what the congressman just said we shouldn't do with the whataboutism, but Politico had an article that came out last year. President Biden had a bunch of donors at the White House, and they wrote a bunch of big checks.
Nothing you say on this show doesn't include the word Biden. You have no critique for Trump.
I do want to address that because I do want to address that because hold on a second, because there's a difference.
Oh, I love that call out. Yeah, no critique of Trump. He has to divert away from it. No pushback. And every time I see Shermichael do this, I'm going to point out that he was physically escorted out of HUD when he was working under Ben Carson because he spoke out against how Trump was speaking about the black community. And ever since then, he learned to shut up and bootleg or else. But remember, Republicans are the alpha males, right? Could you imagine being so weak and pathetic, let alone when it's harming your own people? The very thing you once stood up for. I have zero respect for people like him.
I mean, I'm not saying it's right, but I think that there are differences between donors having too much access to the White House, which is one set of ethical issues, and the president's family profiting off of the president himself and the president participating.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not
so
saying one
I think that's
wrong,
exactly what the
wrong
congressman was saying.
Or more acceptable.
I think that's what the congressman was saying was that that is the comparison that is probably the most apt. Do you agree?
So maybe the framing is in politics in general, to the congressman's point, we need to have some reforms. But to the blockchain technology...
But I mean, is it corrupt? Hold on. We're not talking about blockchain. Is it corrupt?
Yeah, but I want to bring it up because I'm fascinated. I mean, I invest in crypto, and I...
Hold on. It's not a blockchain conversation. Go ahead,
You mentioned blockchain technology, so can I not bring up blockchain technology?
Go ahead.
Taking advantage of something even like broader narrative. The fact that the American people don't really understand crypto, they really don't understand the fact that there is no regulation for crypto, and that the one of the first acts of when Trump came in, he signed an executive order to prevent the SEC from regulating crypto. That he's taking advantage of that to find ways to profit from it, and that's very different than any other thing he could do. Everybody knew when he sent the government employees to go stay at the Trump Hotel, oh yeah, that doesn't seem right. But this is different. This is actually something that's so much more sotto voce and under the radar.
I am one of those.
Honestly, this is why I couldn't be in politics. I'd play the game they want to play. If you want to play rough, let's play rough. I would make a crypto coin and call it something stupid that Trump supporters will blindly buy into, like anti-diversity coin or white is right coin, something hateful that is just like red meat to these fools. Then I would go on CNN, right, if I was a Congress member, and all these channels that make a big fuss about how disgusting and how racist and hateful it is, which will then, of course, trick Republicans into buying the coin because they are buffoons and just easily fooled, and then take all the proceeds, guys, and give it back to black and brown causes that they hate most, or that they would hate most, and just do this over and over again and come up with unique and creative ways to keep doing it. And let's just be real, it doesn't even have to be that creative. These people fall for everything. Hey, Trump supporters, maybe I'm already doing that to you.
people who thinks that members of Congress, elected officials, cabinet people, et cetera, should not be able to trade stock based on insider trading laws, and I firmly believe that. That said, I looked for, in this New York Times article, what was the allegation of corruption, what was the crime that was being accused, and there wasn't something. Is it inappropriate? Maybe. You could argue that, but it's not illegal.
Maybe, Joe.
And I damn well,
Maybe,
and I damn
seriously,
well
maybe?
will play whataboutism when you had a culture of corruption for 4 years that was so bad that the president's final act while he was gumming his eggs and his wife was doing the job was to pardon his entire family.
Because
so
he's
yes,
scared
I
of
will
Trump
pay. Yes, I
being a
will play
dictator.
whataboutism when the last president was so corrupt he had to pardon in advance his entire family.
Let me, okay, all right, let me understand.
What was the crime?
Come on.
What did Trump do his last final act before leaving the White House? He incited an insurrection where multiple officers died. This is just such an insane argument.
What is the crime here? What is the crime you're accusing President Trump of
You
doing?
cannot.
Is there a crime?
Well, I think there probably
I'm not
is.
sure anybody
Using
has
your
said
public
it's a
office.
crime.
But that's the innuendo.
If
right?
you went out there with
that's
a
the
meme coin,
angle
are you
that
going
we're
to make a lot
talking
of
about.
money? No, this is something that only the president can do in virtue of his position. But again, we got to get off of the whataboutism, right? I mean, this goes back. Look, this goes back to Billy Carter. Every presidency has had family members try to profit off the president. But I mean, come on, there's no way you can look at the Trump administration and say that he's not, taken everything to 11. The Hunter Biden stuff was unseemly. Absolutely.
Hunter Biden was paid.
I don't know how to influence
government, guys. Hold on.
This is like a $1
If
billion
you think it's going up in value, you should buy some.
People make money off
I invested in Melania. I guess he didn't care about that.
People make money off of crypto every single day. I'm a big crypto guy. Pump fund is an easy way to launch a meme coin. Younger people, Hillary, my generation, Gen Zers, we understand.
All right, guys, this is.
And so, look, I think crypto is the future. We can debate whether or not the
crypto
supporters
might
should
be
be
the
there.
future, but the president,
Congressman, the blockchain tech, Web3 technology, I think what you
not
guys
the
are doing in
question.
Congress is really, really
the
good.
president
So kudos to Congress for that. It is
the
important.
president
That's
pumping a
incredible
crypto coin
technology.
that his family is profiting off to the tune of potentially billions of dollars is something
not
we have
billions.
never
That's-
seen
that's-
before in this White House. The scale,
It's not billions.
the scale is what we're talking about here. In addition to the ethics of it all. Coming up next,
Yeah, he's trying to make the conversation all about blockchain and is it a worthy asset? And then when she said billions, no, it wasn't billions. You hear him whispering back there. What? Okay, 800 million. This is so unbelievable. And Humpty Dumpty, is it a crime? Is it a crime? How's that your argument? That's the whole issue with cryptocurrency, is that it's not regulated enough. This is why people see it as a scam. How this idiot doesn't understand this? This is the president of the United States scamming his own supporters. I mean, what better proof is needed that he couldn't care less about you Republicans out there. Could you imagine Kamala doing this? Which she would be doing it to her own supporters. Mama LaCoin. Oh my God, this is so. Think about the things they would be saying out there. Let me know in the comments. What do you think they would be saying if if Kamala had her own coin? You know the disgusting, vile thing they would be saying? And Republicans, they just use your anger and hatred in your hearts for whatever reason you got out there, and they use it against you. And then, once they got you in the palm of their hands, they can push things like cryptocurrency coins to you. If they can push a stupid conspiracy to you, it's not that hard to make you believe in a cryptocurrency. Or the Trump Bibles and Trump sneakers, and these are all good investments. Trump coins. It's all a ruse. You're getting played over and over again. And one day, maybe you'll see the light. But these people have trained you to hate, and hate. And these people you follow, you think that have your best interest, they're just scamming you one way or another. In the form of viewers, Trump, in this case, a dumbass coin. Open your eyes to this crap. This crap. But I'm going to leave it there. Guys, let me know what you think about my coin idea. I should make a coin, right? Unless maybe I'm already am, Republicans. Maybe I'm already scamming you and you have no idea. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. Please leave a comment about all this. Please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Really helps to get the message out there. And I'll catch you on the next one.